Find the idea. QC1 plus works only if one defender is overloaded. What would you play? Now rewind. Mikhail Tal has white against Pigit in LAT-ch SF. The point is not to memorize moves. In this episode, track the structural collapse. The natural answer, the piece with too many jobs, and the square that proves the tactic was prepared. If a move does not change one of those things, we move quickly. If it does, we stop and turn it into a question you can use at the board. First quiet clue. This move earns its screen time by changing the open file before the forcing line appears. This is the first real clue. Now 2. NC6 is the next pressure test after 2. NF3. Second pressure move. It makes a later tactic believable by improving the bishop route or limiting a reply. The previous checkpoint, 2. NF3, changed the defender map before 2. NC6. 2. NC6 sets up the next question at 3. CXD4. Pause here. What square became harder to defend after 2? NC6? Third trade with a price tag. If the defender recaptures or ignores it, ask where the king can still breathe. The board is already drifting from 3. CXD4 toward 4. NF6. The board gets less comfortable for the defender. The overload is becoming harder to ignore after this move. Look back one checkpoint. 3. CXD4 made the position fragile enough for 4. NF6. This is how initiative grows before the punchline. The move does not win immediately, but it changes the tempo race. That is why 6. E6 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 5. And C3. A small improvement can be a big warning. If the opponent treats the shelter crack as harmless, the next forcing move lands harder. A quiet detail from 5. NC3 is still hanging in the air when 6. E6 arrives. 7th open door. Once that defender disappears, the piece route has fewer obstacles. 7. BXC6 sets up the next question at 9. CXB5. 8th defender audit. If one defender is gone and another is pinned to king safety, what disappears after the exchange? 7. BXC6 is the clue that makes 9. CXB5 less random. 9th forcing checkpoint. Counterplay pauses while we inspect the entry point. Which defender cannot cover both threats? The previous checkpoint, 9. CXB5, changed the defender map before 11. QE5+. This is the bridge to 14. RD4 where the defender has fewer choices. No fireworks yet, but the trap is getting organized around move 14. Watch the rook lift, where the heavy piece can swing next. That is why 14. Dex4 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 14. RD4. 11th trade with a price tag. If the defender recaptures or ignores it, ask which square is no longer free. Now 15. Rex4 is the next pressure test after 14. Dex4. Pause here. What line open because 14. Dex4 forced the issue? 12th visible prize, hidden access. After 15. Rex4, the final corridor is easier to use. The move before this changed the board's job list, so 15. Rex4 has more force than it first appears. 13th defender count changes. A safe-looking position turns into a trap when the rook entry has no spare helper. The board is already drifting from 15. QXG5 towards 16. Rex 6+. 14th timing question. If the defender spends this move on survival, which diagonal lost protection? This is the bridge to 16. Fex 6 where the defender has fewer choices. 15th open door. Once that defender disappears, the escape square has fewer obstacles. That is why 17. XA 8+ is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 16. Fex 6. 16th forcing checkpoint. Counterplay pauses while we inspect the overload. Which piece has 2 jobs? The previous checkpoint, 16. Fex 6, changed the defender map before 17. XA 8+. Now 18. XA 7+ is the next pressure test after 17. XA 8+. Pause here. Did 17. XA8 plus change material, tempo, or access first. 17th tempo hit. A quiet defense would be nice, but this check makes the tempo race urgent. Which defender cannot use its ideal square after XA7 plus? 18. XA7 plus sets up the next question at 18. KXF6. 18th exchange, not just points. One guard leaves, and the shelter crack around move 18 becomes easier to see. Look back one checkpoint. 18. XA7 plus made the position fragile enough for 18. KXF6. The board is already drifting from 18. KXF6 toward 19. XA6. 19th trade with a price tag. If the defender recaptures or ignores it, ask which square became a highway. This is the bridge to 19. QC1 plus, where the defender has fewer choices. 20th collapse warning. The check forces a reply while the trade choice stays weak. A quiet detail from 19. XA6 is still hanging in the air when 19. QC1 plus arrives. Pause here. What square became harder to defend after 19? QC1 plus? The lesson from Tal-Pigit's hidden queen trap is concrete. The final tactic works because the earlier moves changed the defender map. In the My Chess Coach lesson, replay the structural collapse positions, solve the puzzles, and name the clue before the payoff, the candidate move, the overloaded piece, or the square that changed. Then run the same checklist in your own game before you grab material or defend automatically. That turns this finish into a pattern you can recognize in real positions, not just a highlight you admire once.